In a shocking public scene of agonizing humiliation for the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle was run off the stage to thunderous boos and jeers at the Afro Women and Power Empowerment Conference in London. What began as a celebratory summit highlighted by the former royal's keynote address devolved into chaos as widespread sections of the crowd unleashed furious backlash, eventually chanting, "Leave now. Leave now," until she fled in tears. The heated pandemonium unfolded mere moments after Meghan took the lectern inside the Southwark Park Pavilion bearing radiant smiles while waving to the 1,000-strong audience predominantly consisting of Black British women of African and Caribbean descent. However, the Duchess' initial welcoming ovation was immediately drowned out by a rumbling chorus of deafening boos, hisses, and jeers reverberating throughout the raucous crowd moments into her opening remarks. There were just so many insults and chants of, "You don't belong here," and "Go back to America," being hurled at her from just about every corner, described Sophie Mamba, a Kenyan British attendee interviewed outside the venue's entrance. "I felt heartbroken watching Meghan break down into sobbing despair before the crescendo of negativity shouting her off the stage entirely became too overwhelming for her to endure." According to multiple witness testimonies gathered across participants' social media posts and video uploads, the heated negativity escalated into overpowering fervor as Meghan's speech honoring the achievements of Black women leaders devolved into perceived self-aggrandizing soliloquies. Numerous attendees recounted disruptive chants of, "What do you know about struggle?" and "White woman," crescendoing alongside repeated calls for her outright removal from the premises amidst the Duchess begging for solidarity. "I kept wondering throughout all the disrespect, surely these women understand I've endured racism from the British establishment alongside them? Haven't my experiences being cast out, shunned, and demonized by close-minded palaces placed me smack dab amidst the same degradation rhythms?" A trembling Meghan tearfully addressed the audience at the height of chaos, according to mobile phone footage capturing the firestorm. "I thought we were equals suffering societally ingrained prejudices systemically disenfranchising us through bigotry's toxic milieus spreading dehumanization's ancestral Lynn Dash." Before finishing her statement, the stage was overwhelmed by a torrential downpour of detritus launched from the furious crowd, including water bottles, crumpled pamphlets, and even shoes that ricocheted off Meghan's lectern. According to eyewitnesses, the barrage's shockingly negative furor only intensified amidst chants seamlessly morphing into calls for the Duchess' immediate removal. Several minutes later, as chaos reached uncontrollable detonation points, Meghan's close protection officers physically escorted her offstage through a side door exit amidst crescendoing boos. Why were we booing and heckling our Black sister bearing her soul and hopes inspiring solidarity camaraderie? Because Miss Markle carried herself atop palatial ivory towers preaching towards authentic Black British women's pain archaeology surrounding generational oppression inherited from white supremacy's systemically poisoned roots seeding societal rejection, explained Asha Cottingworth, an anti-racism activist barraged by widespread social media criticism over her involvement escalating disruptions through bullhorn demonstrations. "For decades, our African diaspora here has demanded reparative accountability from the Crown and its institutional apparatuses enforcing colonialism's disempowered legacies on our communities," Cottingworth continued. "So Meghan sojourning on unearned regal coattails flaunting opulent privilege remains unearned equity, until the monarchy meaningfully atones for orchestrating historically racist plunder on a globalized scale. Many view her alliance opportunistic racial voyeurism." In wake of the jarring public debacle, reaction from commentators swiftly congealed into polarized camps either defending Meghan's rightful status advocating for Black empowerment movements, or condemning her alleged appropriation of Afro-descendant liberation struggle aesthetics exclusively intended platforming organic grassroots activism by community leaders protesting systemic inequality. Among mainstream cultural pundits emerging defiantly in the Duchess' corner included prominent left-leaning political voices admonishing the Afro Women and Power exodus as an inexcusable exercise in prejudiced intolerance overriding Meghan's heartfelt intentions. Once again, the racialized misogynoir we've continuously warned about surfaced through abject hostilities denigrating this proud woman of color opening herself towards vulnerability hoping resonating ancestral spiritual ties binding kinship circles within our movements, proclaimed British TV personality and activist Fatima Manji across Twitter. While questioning Meghan's cultural appropriateness retains validity through critiques, the vitriolic pile-on fueled less about accountability than covert dehumanization manifesting into public harassment and humiliation. To Manji's point, several Afro-British influencers alleged misinformation factored into the furious backlash after activist factions circulated unfounded rumors Meghan demanded £1 million in appearance fees for speaking at the conference. According to the organizers, while donations were encouraged to help cover event production costs, they categorically denied implying the Duchess mandating payment for attendance. On the opposite side, certain black social commentators remained adamantly unsympathetic towards vindicating Meghan based upon her hereditary privileges squandered through lack of intentional reparations advancing Afro-descendant empowerment movements. Some voices even went as far arguing the intense crowd hostility served poetic accountability, forcing the former royal to experience genuine marginalization faced daily by subjugated global South communities continuously exploited over systemic racism's existence. Meghan Markle remains an exquisitely emancipated millionaire divorcee retaining limitless agency while revolving family and brand-building interests through a white-skewing Princess Cinderella narrative completely devoid of emancipated socio-economic struggles. Authentic African heritage testimonial, excoriated author Solomon Raufa during unsparing remarks shared across social media. Her peddling lived experiences derived entire from petulant culture vulture envisioning of blackness remains antithetical towards our movement. We're reclaiming ancestral rootworks, uplifting true native legacies. Meanwhile, royal biographers and firm-connected commentators unleashed unrestrained schadenfreude gleed denigrating the Duchess over her treatment received at the London summit. Several broadcasting pundits directly linked the hostile reception to patterns highlighted across recent critically maligned tell-all books portraying Meghan as an arrogant diva utterly unconcerned with empathetically relating to humble civilians. Even typically impartial monarchy experts weighed in hinting karmic retribution manifested for any repeated self-entitlements, glossing over relatable interactions required making progress connecting with grassroots communities. The unavoidable reality Meghan Markle confronted amidst this extraordinary backlash represents an inability connecting her